What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we finally got something once again in the Xdefiant community, something that the Call of Duty community can actually never get. And that is a little bit of some communication. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Mark Rubin is back at it along with everybody else, giving us some feedback, what's going on, what current state we are in when it comes to Xdefiant, and keeping us in the loop. That's all we, the community, ask for, right? And, it seems like it's impossible for other teams to do so, but when it comes to Xdefiant, they do it perfectly. But ladies and gentlemen, before we hop into all the details about what's going on with Xdefiant, if you do enjoy today's commentary and want to hear some more stuff revolving around this game, Call of Duty, Battlefield, other FPS shooters, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification button. And last but not least, we are going to be grinding out some streams again on Monday over on Kick. So if you guys want to check that out, I have the link to that channel and all my other socials down in the description of this video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I was saying, it's only been, maybe like a week or two after the Xdefiant open beta is finally closed. Man, I gotta be honest with you guys, I miss it to death. I don't know what you guys have been doing with your time. Of course, leave it down in the comment section. Me, myself, personally, I have been scrambling right now for stuff to play because when I tell you I have been craving an arcade arena shooter for so long, I'm not lying to you. And, I just haven't been feeling COD. I might hop on every once in a while, but at this point, it's just not the game that it used to be for me, and I can't put the time that I used to into that title anymore. Battlefield I play a ton of, but when it comes to that really good classic COD feel, man, I haven't played in a styled game like this in a long time. So when Xdefiant dropped for both the closed beta and the open beta, you best believe I was absolutely obsessed. And every single time these betas close, like I said, I just don't know what to do. But to hear all this information makes me extremely happy. And like I said, we hopefully will be getting it in our hands very soon. But Mark Rubin over on Twitter said, "Hi all, just wanted to give you an update on where we are after the open session. We got a lot of great info from that test and are now working towards our candidate master. Once approved, we will be able to launch." Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the game is in a very solid state. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, we should be a bit skeptical about this information because, these developers always tell us what we want to hear. But at the end of the day, when it comes to Xdefiant, like I said, through both playtests and even just seeing the communication between the playtests, I don't have much worry at all about this game, let alone what Mark Rubin is telling us here. Pretty much, I'm the type of guy that, up to the point that you proved to me that you're not a trustworthy person, I'm completely okay with you. And Mark Rubin has not given me anything, not a single thing to make me feel like I cannot trust him whatsoever, let alone trust the game whatsoever. They have only given me more and more and more positive feedback and positive reinforcement, of what they're doing here for this overall community. So as long as this man right here is feeling good about the direction of this game, then yes, indeed, I'm going to be feeling good about the direction of this game as well. And at the same time, of course, we played it. We played it multiple different times. This is not a Call of Duty situation where we're getting trailers, we're getting hyped up, we're getting, promises behind the scenes without them being fulfilled. No, this is, the developers communicating with the community. And yeah, they are saying stuff that's very positive that could potentially hype up the community. But at the same time, we played the game. We saw what it's about. And yes, it is pretty much in a playable state, in my personal opinion. Of course, it has its flaws. It needs to still be improved. But these developers aren't messing around. This isn't like COD where it's going to drop an open beta and it's in a horrible state, and then they launch the actual full release of the game, and it's still in that same state, possibly even worse. No, they improve. From the closed beta to the open beta, the servers, the hit detection, all the core fundamentals improved it drastically. Now, was it like the best of all things in the world? No, not completely yet. Obviously, it still needs a bit more work. But if these developers continue to put in the same work that they've been doing from closed to open, that I cannot wait to see the work they do from open to the full launch of the game. So basically, if they can get this game approved, which I think the whole community wants it to get approved, we will more than likely be seeing this game around the end of summertime. Again, as long as they just keep working on the game, update it, mess around with things, I think this is going to be a game that will absolutely capture the hearts of a lot of arcade, arena shooter fans. But that's not all. There is some negatives out of this overall post here. I guess not completely negative because it's not taken all the way out, but I still have to mention it. Mark Rubin went a little bit further, saying, "This is a process that can take some time, though, so please bear with us. Still aiming for later this summer. To be clear, we will be launching on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X/S, aka current gen, with other platforms coming later. We'll update again as soon as we have more info." So basically, if you're still on the last gen consoles, you will not get access to the Xdefiant beta. Now, I know, it's always a massive battle going on from people saying, oh, just move on to the next console already. It's, it's a lot of them. And, people saying, it's no need to move on just yet. The previous one works perfectly fine. With all honesty, this game isn't the most insane game out there when it comes to graphics and probably, being able to run it. It's not the hardest thing to run. So it is a tad bit disappointing not to see this game launch day one, which has been the goal. I mean, first they said that last gen was going to be able to play the open beta. Then that got pushed off a little bit to, only PC and next gen. Okay, but don't worry, launch will have it. Then fast forward now, launch, they're not going to have last gen still. We're pushing that back again. Who's to say that they're not going to push it back next time and then next time and the next time? Instead of it being, weeks, it might be months until last gen might actually be able to get their hands on this game. And again, it's not like it's the craziest game to run. But I don't think that's going to be the overall problem here. And I think they're just trying to be able to make sure this game runs properly as it is. It has its fair share of problems, let's be honest here. So they need to polish it off first. And then once it's polished, then we can worry about transferring it over to other platforms. So if you're on last gen, you can pretty much consider the rest of us, test dummies. We're going to be going in and basically playing through all the brokenness, trying to find bugs, fixes, glitches, all of that stuff while they go ahead and clean it up. And by the time it's cleaned up, they'll probably be able to get it ported over to the PlayStation 4 and also the Xbox. And honestly, there's not even that much wrong with the game to even begin with, So when they do finally port it over, it shouldn't take that much time. They should be able to, make that a priority. I know a lot of people are stressed thinking, well, if the game is busted, if it's broken, a lot of the development time is going to have to go to fixing up the game itself instead of actually trying to port it over to, last gen. But realistically, I don't think that's going to be an issue here. Playing through, like I said, both the betas, I had a blast. Truthfully, I had a blast. The problems for me were very minimal. And, that's coming from someone who put a lot of hours into it as well. I really tried to grind out that honeymoon phase. I wanted to make sure that I just did not care anymore whatsoever. And I did. I played a ton of this game. And I enjoyed every last second of it. And I still want more. My main problems were in the closed beta, the netcode. That got improved in the open beta. But then in the open beta, the mouse felt like it got a little, junked up there. But at the end of the day, these are problems that they acknowledged and they know are a thing, and they're going to be going ahead and fixing it up for the launch. And like I said earlier in the video, if they put the same work they put in from the closed beta to the open beta, now to the open beta to, full release, then we're going to be in for a treat. And more than likely, they're not going to have to be distracted by fixing up this game, and they could put a lot of their development time into prioritizing putting it on last-gen consoles. Ladies and gentlemen, overall, this is fantastic news. Maybe a little sad for some people, but at the end of the day, everybody's going to be able to go ahead and play it at some point in time. It's going to be polished off, and to be realistic with you, the majority of the bugs and problems right now are just when it comes to balancing. There's not many crazy game-breaking things going on within this title like there is with every single Call of Duty release, not even in the slightest. They've been fixing them up, patching them up. There's not even a problem. So, with all honesty, this news is just great to hear that they're on the road to greatness, that it's probably going to be launching. Hopefully it's going to be launching, and more than likely they are going to be going ahead and getting approved. I mean, the game is in just a great state, in my personal opinion, and it's only going to be getting better as time goes on. Let's be real here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, they're going to be adding in a classic prestige system. They're going to be adding in some type of streak system as well. We don't know if it's going to be actual kill streaks or score streaks, but there's going to be something implemented that's going to be creative, unique, and cool that should be able to pull people who want that craving from COD over to Xdefiant. It's a lot of stuff being planned. Camo grinds, tons of weapons, tons of attachments to mess around with. The attachments don't destroy your guns. I mean, I'm pumped. I'm ready for the launch. And I think that this is just going to be outstanding for some competition when it comes to Call of Duty. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. Bombs I hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't subscribe to that bell gauge button. Also, want to chat with this to do so. I have a Twitter and Discord, both in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch. Link to that is in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.